Lindsay, Devontae, we've been having a few audio issues, so I am going to stay put as best I can. But again, this intersection where I am standing, Northwest Boulevard and Rinaldo Road, has been a very active scene since the moment that we got here. Something that Chris Runge with Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools mentioned earlier, that buses are still coming in this area. So just to describe to you what's going on right now, you can only imagine that it is a major backup in this area. So anyone that has to navigate through this area, please be on the side of caution and patience. We've certainly seen a lot of law enforcement officials navigating this area. We've only seen limited drivers, mostly bus drivers, come through the area of Northwest Boulevard towards Reynolds. Again, Lindsay, something that you mentioned earlier, we've seen a lot of activity, more so towards the gym area. We know that's where this intersection is now. I also want to know, earlier we were hearing Chris Runge talk about the reunification site near Cloverdale. And while that is a site for parents to pick up their children, when we arrived here at the intersection of Northwest and Patterson, we did see parents picking up their students. And again, you can only imagine that there were a lot of different emotions, a lot of frustration, fear, worry. We were speaking to a lot of parents, they too not knowing what exactly is going on. So again, while the reunification site is near the Harris Teeter and Cloverdale Plaza, we have seen parents and students in this area trying to reunite with their parents and guardians. Again, I just want to make note one more time that it is still a major backup. Just being out here, I've counted at least 6 school buses going either down Patterson or Northwest Boulevard. It's unclear, of course, how long it will be a backup in this area. But again, it's not just a school in this area. You have parks, you have businesses. We are standing in an area that is a very popular site for those that want to get some food or retail. So definitely a busy area. I can also tell you that just a few minutes ago, we have Forsyth County Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough arriving here on site as well. So hopefully we can get some more information from him as well, alongside information from the school district. So again, as a reminder, big update right now. Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough just arrived here on site, hoping that we can get some information from him as well. But for now, I will send it back to you all as we gather more information here.
Kara, we'll let you get to work. Thank you. And we know that Reynolds is not the only campus impacted by this tonight. In fact, on your screen right now are the 3 campuses currently on lockdown because of that shooting situation on Northwest Boulevard. R.J. Reynolds High School, Wiley Middle, and Brunson Elementary School, they are currently on lockdown due to that heavy police presence we just saw.
Our Kenny Beck has also been gathering some information from the scene. We're going to check in with him now. Kenny, how's it looking where you are?
Well, Lindsay, Devontae, good afternoon. Most likely the best way to describe what we are seeing, we just arrived moments ago, is a chaotic scene. This is the Cloverdale Plaza Shopping Center. Of course, we're closing in on 5 o'clock. There's a Harris Teeter grocery store here. There's a dollar store and a number of other restaurants and fast food places. So you have people who were there for that, and now you also have parents here who have a lot of questions and concerns, understandably, about what has unfolded in the vicinity of their child's school within the last hour and a half or so. I'll step out of the way and show you what we're looking at. So there is a section right in front of the Panera Bread that is essentially taped off with police tape. That is not because of a crime scene here. That is rather so that school buses can get in and out of this area as quickly as possible. Again, this is the official reunification location. There are police officers in that area. There are police officers in different parts of the parking lot trying to direct traffic, asking people, are they parents? Are they just regular shoppers? Making sure people are going the right way. Now, in terms of what we know about the incident itself, I did speak with a woman, a parent of an R.J. Reynolds student, maybe half an hour ago. She told me that she has been reunited with her daughter, but she went on to tell me that her daughter actually witnessed the incident. Again, this is information from a parent. We do not have anything official at this time from law enforcement or the school system, but this woman, whose name is Ashley, told me over the phone that her daughter witnessed a fight in the school bus parking lot area right at the end of the school day, and that one person pulled a gun on and shot another person in that area. We don't know the extent of the victim's injuries at this point. We do not know the identity of the suspect or the victim at this point. Again, those are details that still have yet to come into the newsroom. But again, I have been in contact with at least one parent who says her daughter did witness it. Her daughter, actually, the family lives in Kernersville. They have been reunited. She said her daughter was actually able to get on the bus and still get a ride in the direction of where the family lives, and they have been reunited and they are okay. But obviously, daughter witnessed a shooting not far from their school, so there's certainly some trauma associated with that. Many questions here. On top of that, it's raining. That doesn't help either. But again, we'll give you a live look here. Again, the Cloverdale Plaza Shopping Center, school buses coming in, shoppers wondering what's going on, parents just wanting to be with their children, hug their children, and figure out what exactly happened today and how you move forward. Again, it is Tuesday. This is the last full week of the school year in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County. Just a few days on the calendar. Next week they go through Thursday, and then after that it's winter break. Students won't be back until 2025 as we see another school bus roll in. That is the special area specifically designed for buses. A lot of police officers there. Saw someone from the school system earlier as well with a walkie-talkie. A chaotic scene here nonetheless in Winston-Salem on a Tuesday night. For now, we will send things back inside to you.
All right, our Kenny Beck is live from Cloverdale Plaza, which is what you were just looking at, and that is part of the reunification process because an incident is going on near the Reynolds High School gym and the Reynolds High School area. We're going to go ahead and listen to Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough.
Today at 3:45 at Reynolds High School on Northwest Boulevard, there was a shooting involving a juvenile. Only one victim was shot. That victim is at Atrium Hospital with his mother. I just left there. That's basically all we know. We know that an altercation took place involving some juveniles, gunshot, and we have one victim that was shot. We're currently trying to locate those persons that were involved in it. We would like for everyone to please stay out of this area, help us. It's an active crime scene, and we would like to keep this area as least congested as possible. If you're in the Northwest Boulevard or the Reynolds Road, please find an alternative route. As I said, it's an active crime scene, and we're currently trying to locate those that were involved in it. I'll take a few questions.
How serious was the injury on the other juvenile?
Well, what I will tell you is, I'm not a physician. I will tell you anytime that you're shot, there's a serious injury. I can tell you that he was hit somewhere in his leg, upper leg. I don't know the seriousness of it. I just left the hospital with his mother and checking on him. The doctors are working on him as we speak.
What hospital was he taken to?
Atrium.
Were students able to get back with their families? Are they still in Ottawa?
Yes,
right now?
the reunification is at Harris Teeter. Great question. Is at Harris Teeter off of Cloverdale. The kids that were there, that were in the gymnasium, we were reuniting them with their family, calming them down, talking with them, and trying to assure the public that we're out here making sure that everything goes accordingly, and we're out here looking for those that were involved in this shooting.
Sheriff, can you clarify whether or not this juvenile was a student here at Reynolds?
He was.
Okay, what year, what grade?
That I don't know, and I won't speculate, but he was a student.
Do we know if those involved in the shooting were also?
That we do not know. We do not know that. Just know that the young man that was shot was a student at Reynolds High School.
Is there an idea where the perpetrator is, or what direction they went off on?
No, we knew where they were. They'd be in custody right now.
We heard secondhand, Sheriff, that the shooting happened inside the tunnel that leads from the school to Haynes Park. Can you confirm that?
I will confirm that it did not happen in the tunnel.
Sheriff Kimbrough, is it concerning seeing juveniles, involved in a situation like
It's
this?
very concerning. Anytime juveniles, and anytime there's gunplay on our campuses, that's serious, that's concerning to me. You know how I feel about that. What I'm concerned about right now is capturing those that are responsible for it and making sure this young man gets back to some normalcy and assuring the public that we're out here, and we're going to be out here until we capture those that were involved in it. I want to thank the Winston-Salem Police Department, Highway Patrol, as I said, all the responding agencies. It's almost like a nightmare. This several years ago, but I'm glad to say that this young man is still with us, and I'm happy for that, and I'm glad to let you all know that, to let the public know that we're out here and there's no immediate threat to this community. We're looking for them as we speak.
Sheriff, can you identify the victim?
I cannot because he's a juvenile. While we know who he is, I cannot do that. You know that. He's a juvenile. I cannot do that.
Sheriff, what can you say to parents tonight? I mean, you can, I'm
You
sure
know,
that
what I would say to parents tonight is hug your child. Tell your children that you love them. Encourage them to be the best them that they can be. Because at the end of the day, as I said on many times before, our children are our future. They are our future. It's time to stop with the gunplay. When you have a disagreement, let's resolve it another way.
Sheriff, because of the new law that went into effect on December 1st, if you find the suspect, are you going to be able to charge them as an adult?
I don't know how the suspects are. I don't know the age. I know nothing about them. What I do know is I don't know the age. But if they meet that standard, that requirement, of course we will. But again, that'll be a district attorney, Mr. O'Neill, question. He's been working closely with us, the district attorney, highway patrol. There's been a plethora of all of the law enforcement agencies here, from Winston, as I said, highway patrol, all of us. This is a team effort, all hands on deck.
Sheriff, you mentioned that the incident did not happen in Tuttle, but can you clarify whether or not the incident happened on school grounds,
Yes,
inside the school?
yes, not inside the school, but on school ground.
Can you specify where on school grounds?
I cannot because it's an active investigation.
And you said there are two perps?
No, I never said how many perpetrators. I said there's only one victim, shooting victim. That's what I said. There's only one shooting victim.
What can you say to parents that may be fearful to bring their children back to school, whether it's today or the day
What
after?
I would say, and I know this is a hard sell, is that because I don't have kids in public school now, but we cannot let this type of behavior stop us from educating our kids. We can't stop them from getting their education. We can't do that, and we won't do that. I hope we won't. What we're gonna do is, if we have to, we'll put more SROs out here on the streets. We'll do whatever we have to do to make sure that our children are safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sheriff.
you so much. Thanks for...
You have been listening live to Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough addressing that shooting we had in Winston-Salem near the campus of R.J. Reynolds High School. The sheriff confirming one student was shot after an altercation among a group of juveniles. That student was shot in the upper leg. He is now at the hospital with his mother. The sheriff just left there from Atrium.
And while we know the victim is a juvenile, so the sheriff could not identify that victim, that student at R.J. Reynolds High School, we do know nothing about the suspect at this time. We're working to gather more information. Right now, Northwest Boulevard and the Reynolda Road area is very busy, so the sheriff was saying if you can, try to find an alternate route.
And this is impacting several campuses. Let's go out live to our Kenny Beck. He joins us from the Harris Teeter Shopping Center there on Cloverdale. That's the reunification site, right, Kenny?
It is, Devontae, and there's no perfect playbook for how you do this. It's a shopping center. It's the middle of December. There's a grocery store. There are places to eat, and it's 5 o'clock at night. So there are a number of vehicles here being driven by people who have absolutely nothing to do with today's incident at R.J. Reynolds High School. And then you have a lot of families who just want to see their children, make sure they're safe, and give them a hug. Let me pan over here and show you exactly what we're looking at. So, and on top of that, it's raining right now too. So you have a lot of parents, many of them on phones under the awning here. There is a hibachi place right there. There's a Panera Bread place right there. Just to the right of that is the official reunification area. We've seen a number of buses come through here. As you can see, it is taped off, police tape everywhere. This is not a crime scene. Want to emphasize that. Very much not a crime scene. This is simply about traffic control. This is about making the most efficient way possible for students to get on buses, for families to reunited with their students and to get them home and to begin to process what they have experienced today, what some of them may have witnessed today. There are a number of police officers out here doing nothing more than trying to direct traffic, and that is a critical job at this hour. Again, a lot of people here. It's the dinner hour. People may or may not have any compelling reason to be here that has anything to do with what happened at R.J. Reynolds High School. I did speak with a parent by the name of Ashley. Her daughter goes to R.J. Reynolds High School, and she says her daughter witnessed that shooting. She said it started as a fight between people in the bus parking lot area. right on R.J. Reynolds campus. She said her daughter witnessed a student shoot another one, and it was in the lower half of their body. So that would line up with what we heard from Sheriff Kimbrough just a little bit ago. She did tell me that her daughter was able to get on a bus despite what had happened there, and she is reunited with her at this point, and so she feels grateful as far as that is concerned, but also has a lot of questions about the protocol, how that kind of thing works, what the appropriate response is if something like that were to happen, God forbid, during the literal time when students are getting on the bus and leaving school for the day. And it certainly appears that is what has happened here today. So again, we're at the Cloverdale Plaza, the Harris Teeter Shopping Center, right across from the hospital, where the sheriff says that juvenile victim is recovering this evening from an apparent gunshot wound to their leg area. We'll continue to keep tabs on how things are going here, and we'll bring you updates just as soon as we get them. For now, live in Winston-Salem, Kenny Beck, WXII 12 News. We'll send things back inside to you now.
Very, very active where you are, Kenny. Thank you. And even though this happened near R.J. Reynolds High School, R.J. Reynolds is not the only campus impacted by that gunfire. We know Reynolds High, Wiley Middle, and Brunson Elementary School, at last check, they are still on lockdown. We're working with the district to confirm if they are still on lockdown, how long that lockdown will last.
And we will, of course, continue to follow new developments as we are right now. And just to clarify, we know one student at Reynolds has been shot in the leg. Our Kara Peters is live from the scene where all of this unfolded this afternoon with the latest developments from what's happening there. Kara.
Yeah, well, as a reminder, we just heard from Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough. He came out here with no rain jacket on, with a soaking suit jacket on to inform us on the latest regarding this. As a reminder, we do know at this time that one student was shot in this incident. It happened on school grounds. It did not happen inside the school. That is something that the sheriff clarified, and I want to show you all just how it looks out here with Northwest Boulevard and Patterson Avenue. Again, you can see that major backup right now. Hopefully you can also see the bus lineup. That's something that Kenny mentioned earlier. Well, certainly we are seeing a major backup as you go down Northwest Boulevard. So they're definitely still trying to get students back home safely to their parents and guardians, but I can imagine that it's definitely going to be a little bit of time before that happens, just with this major backup right now. It's something that we mentioned earlier, but I do want to bring it back up again. The sheriff mentioned that for those that, if they can find an alternate route, to please do so, because we've seen a lot of law enforcement out here navigating traffic, and we've really only seen school buses going down this area. Again, we want to mention earlier that when we got here, we certainly saw several parents reuniting with their children, and they were saying as well they saw a lot of running. They did not go into the specifics regarding the incident, at least the students that we spoke with, but they did say that it was a lot going on inside the school. So even though we do now know that the incident happened outside of the school, on school grounds, it certainly still caused a lot of chaos inside the school. Again, we saw a lot of frustration and different emotions from parents that we spoke to picking up their children here at the intersection of Northwest and Patterson. And that is something that I did ask the sheriff, what can you tell parents tonight when it comes to being fearful of this incident happening? Of course, it brings many of parents and guardians and staff back to a situation at Mount Tabor that happened several years ago. Of course, as the sheriff mentioned, he is very thankful that the outcome here is not similar to what happened out Mount Tabor. But again, he is still telling parents and guardians that they still need an education, whether that mean bringing in more SROs. That's something that he mentioned. Again, for those that have heard the sheriff in the past, he is very adamant about school safety, and that is something that he talked about, especially something regarding what has just happened here today. So again, just to let everyone know, we are still seeing a very slow and steady movement here along Northwest Boulevard and Patterson Avenue. Again, definitely want to proceed with caution. We have the rain as a major factor in this area. So anything else that we do receive regarding this situation, we will be sure to let you know. But for now, I will send it back to you guys.
All right, Kara, thank you.
And we are going to continue our team coverage right now and check in with our Chris Peterson, who is also nearby the scene for us. And Chris, what information do you have for us this afternoon?
Lindsay, I'm at the corner of Northwest Boulevard and Ronalda, not far from where Kara is, and I'm going to step out of the shot so we can show you what's happening here. As you can see, an incredibly chaotic scene. You can see all the flashing lights on Northwest Boulevard. That's directly across the street from Wiley Middle School and the gymnasium there. It's nothing but flashing lights as far as the eye can see. Rows of school buses trying to pick up students as they are waiting for school buses. Also law enforcement. The corner of Northwest Boulevard and Ronalda is shut down. Winston-Salem police do have that street shut down, and they are directing traffic, diverting it away from this area. But again, just an incredibly chaotic scene. Law enforcement is just all over this area. Dozens of police vehicles and law enforcement officials up and down this road. Now, we're still trying to gather more information about exactly what happened. Of course, Sheriff Kimbrough did have a news conference moments ago where he did share that one student was shot in the bus parking lot at over here at Reynolds High School. Really, that's what's going on from my perspective and from where I am. Not a lot of people milling around, just a tremendous amount of traffic. This is the evening rush, so that's adding to the congestion in this area. But in Winston-Salem tonight, I'm Chris Peterson, WXII 12 News.
All right, Chris, thank you. And it's busy because the sheriff reiterated time and time again, this is still a very much an active crime scene there on Northwest Boulevard between Hawthorne and Reynolda Road.
And if you are just joining us, we want to update you on the reunification process. If you do have kids that are students at Reynolds High School, you can pick them up at Cloverdale Plaza at the Harris Teeter there. These were the schools impacted. R.J. Reynolds High School obviously was on lockdown. We're told that has since been lifted and that people are able to join their parents in the pickup line right now. But Wiley Middle and Brunson Elementary were also on lockdown from this incident.
We saw a busy scene with Chris and Kara. Let's go back out live to our Kenny Beck. He's there at the reunification. The Harris Teeter parking lot there on Cloverdale. Kenny, parents, obviously, understandably so, they're frightened and worried.
They are, and you would hope that if we're trying to find any positive news out of it, it's that the sheriff says there is, thank goodness, only one victim here, and that person is expected to survive. Whatever comfort that may bring people, it's hard to know. And certainly the fact that the person accused of pulling the trigger is still out there is not the least bit comforting at all. Very much an active investigation here. Again, Cloverdale Plaza, Winston-Salem, right across the street from Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. What I continue to see here in the parking lot is people coming through, walking past us that fit into one of two categories. There's either someone who looks like they are just arriving home from work in their clothes. Somebody's actually trying to get through, so I'm going to get out of the way. We're literally standing in the parking lot. You can come through. Again, one of two categories. There's either someone who is on a phone, looks like they came straight from work and have somewhat of a frantic or concerned look on their face. And then you have other people who continue to see us and see our camera and our jacket and our microphone and say, what happened here? What's going on? And that's because this is a shopping center. This is a busy place. Harris Teeter, number of places to eat, a dollar store, this, that, and the other. And so a huge part of what's happening here is police officers trying to direct traffic, trying to be compassionate with these parents who days have been turned on a dime within the last hour and a half or so. This happened around 4 o'clock today. And also trying to get people who have no affiliation with what occurred today on the campus of R.J. Reynolds High School away safely from the bus reunification. We've got a great example of that going on right now. Two buses that just pulled up into this area that's taped off by police tape. And we are seeing, we hope, some students emerge here. You see some umbrellas there. Parents, no doubt, waiting to be reunited from their children and figure out what tomorrow looks like and the rest of this week looks like. This is the last full week of school for students and teachers in the Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District. They are scheduled to go to school Monday through Thursday of next week. Winter break officially begins on Friday. They won't be back until the first few days of January of 2025. Again, more parents continuing to come up And a lot of people who just happen to be out either running into the grocery store or figuring out what they're going to do for dinner, with many, many questions about what has occurred here. For now, that's what's happening in Winston-Salem. I'm Kenny Beck, WXII 12 News.
All right, our Kenny Beck live from Cloverdale Plaza, where parents are reuniting with their kids if they are students at Reynolds High School.
I want to bring in our sports director, John Johnson, now to our team coverage. John, this is also impacting athletic events tonight.
Yeah, that's right. R.J. Reynolds and Parkland were scheduled to play basketball today. It was actually supposed to be the first conference opener game. Well, both the girls basketball game that was scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight and the boys basketball game that was scheduled for 7:30 tonight have been postponed. Now, both those schools have not advanced or made any notice as to when those games will be moved to, but as of now, those games are no longer on tonight. That was again 6 o'clock, the girls game, girls varsity game, and the boys varsity game that was scheduled for 7:30. Conference openers, those games have been postponed tonight, guys.
All right, John, thank you. Again, we're following that breaking news in Winston-Salem tonight. A major police presence near R.J. Reynolds High School. That's on Northwest Boulevard between Hawthorne Road and Reynolda Road. We know one person, which was later identified as a juvenile student, was shot after an altercation involving a group of juveniles.
And this is having a big impact because of traffic concerns, obviously, as well, because it's at Reynolda and Northwest Boulevard, which is busy as it is. And that's where our Kara Peters is, and she has some new information for us from the scene there. Kara.
Yeah, Devontae and Lindsay, definitely still a huge backup here on this area. Again, I want to mention that we are here on Northwest and Reynolda Road, still pretty much a parking lot. I mean, I really want for you all to focus your attention at this parking lot of school buses. I mean, it has grown as time has gone on. I think when I first came on here, I mentioned that I counted about 6 school buses, and now you can't even count how many school buses are trying to make their way through this very, very busy area. Again, something that Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough mentioned earlier, that if you can avoid this area, try to do so, but also it's very difficult for those maybe that have to avoid this area because it is such a busy area. I mean, we are standing here in a very popular restaurant site. There's a lot of retail in this area. If it wasn't raining, I'm sure that many people would be outside playing sports. So definitely a very busy area here. We also want to reiterate some of the information that Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough gave us earlier. He did say that it was a juvenile student that was injured, but he could not clarify what grade this person was in or if there was any issues that led up to this incident. So still definitely some information that we are still working to gather. Again, we have not seen any cars go down this intersection of Northwest and Reynolda, strictly just school buses and those that absolutely have to come through this area. So something that we've been mentioning, the rain is not making things any easier for drivers and maybe parents that were here earlier. So definitely want to proceed with caution as those people that may be coming off of work, that may be going to their businesses, whatever the case may be, to certainly proceed with caution here in this area. I want to send it back to you guys.
I want to clarify too, Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough said while this did happen on school grounds, it was not actually inside the Reynolds High School building.
And we saw a line of school buses earlier. Those school buses are picking up students and taking them to the reunification site. Before that, though, I want to send things out to Chris Peterson. He joins us live from that corner there. Chris, you're across the street from Kara, and the school buses, they're still piling up behind you.
That's right, Devontae. Every so often a school bus will show up, and as you can see behind me, those flashing lights right there are rows of school buses that are waiting to pick up students and take them to that reunification site. A very busy, active scene out here at the corner of Reynolda and Northwest Boulevard. Here comes another school bus pulling in to go down Northwest Boulevard. Of course, the normal evening drive traffic is adding to the congestion here in the area. Again, as Kara mentioned a few minutes ago, law enforcement is asking people to avoid this area if at all possible to alleviate some of that congestion that's happening down here. Again, 2 more school buses driving up the road. That long line of flashing lights, that's what that is. School buses here to pick up students and take them to that reunification site. Again, not a lot of people milling about. We're not seeing parents or anyone else just running around this area. It's mainly just the traffic and the congestion, and lots of rain adding to all of the craziness of the moment out here at the corner of Rinalda and Northwest Boulevard. In Winston-Salem, I'm Chris Peterson, WXII 12 News.
And that area will likely see a lot of delays tonight. Chris, thank you.
Another really busy area right now, Cloverdale Plaza, where parents are being told to pick up their Reynolds High School students because they are being rerouted there, and that is where our Kenny Beck is right now with another active scene. But this is not a crime scene. We do want to reiterate this is where parents are picking up those students. Right, Kenny?
Right, and I'm actually joined by an RJ Reynolds parent. This is Talina. We saw you walking through the parking lot earlier. Pleased to hear from you a little bit ago that you have been reunited with your 16-year-old sophomore son who goes to RJ Reynolds High School. As a mom, can you describe what the last couple of hours have been like for you? Can you take me through the last little bit?
It's been very scary not knowing if you're going to return to your son or reunite with your son. It's very heartbreaking. I feel for the parent and the other student. This is just a tragedy that hopefully we can all get through. Hopefully the kids can get some kind of therapy or counseling or something before they return to school.
What did you say to your son when you finally saw him and saw that he was okay? Can you take us through that moment?
I just hugged him real tight and let him know that I love him. And I'm glad that he's safe and he made it back.
What does tonight look like for your family? What does tomorrow look like? We're ever so close to winter break, but still have a little more than a week to go. Do you imagine he'll go to school tomorrow, or is that a decision that's still to be made at this point?
That's a decision that's still to be made at this point. Right now, all we can do is pray with him, talk with him, and make sure that he's going to be okay from this day forth.
Obviously, the worst case scenario for school system, law enforcement, et cetera, how do you feel about the way everything's been handled, the way things have been communicated to you? I mean, at the end of the day, bottom line, you are with your son and he is safe, right?
Yes, I'm glad that he's safe. I feel like the school could have did much better with contacting the parents because we're just now getting contact about this situation and this tragedy that's happened at Reynolds. And, you know, that's all I got to say.
Talina, I'll let you go be with your boy. Thank you very much for your time. I'm glad you guys are safe, and I hope that things can return to whatever normal looks like for you and your boy and the rest of your family as soon as possible. Thank you very much. So that's what's happening here in Winston-Salem. We'll send it back to you tonight.
All right, Kenny Beck live for us at Cloverdale Plaza with a Reynolds High School parent who is there to pick up her son after this incident happened near the school today.
Let's get back to the height of the scene. That's on Northwest and Rinalda. This is with Kara Peters. She has the sheriff with her now. Kara, let's get the sheriff on the screen and get us up to speed once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we first spoke to the sheriff, I mean, he had on his suit jacket out here in the rain, and now you are weather ready to tell us again what's been going on. So for those that are now tuning in, can you catch us up to speed on what's been going on out here, Sheriff?
Yes, approximately 3:45, 3:49, call came in, a shooting in the Northwest Boulevard area here in Winston-Salem near the school. Winston-Salem Police Department, Sheriff's Office, Highway Patrol, all of us responded here, EMS responded here, located one juvenile that had been shot. That juvenile was transported to Atrium Hospital. We're currently active crime scene investigation here, trying to locate those person or persons that are involved in the shooting. Right now it's an active crime scene here, as you can tell. We're asking anyone in this area, if you don't have business in this area, please stay out of the area because of the congestion. Because of the congestion of the traffic that we have here in this area. The reunification location is Harris Teeter. Those parents that are looking or trying to find their kids, we have brought those kids to Harris Teeter. They're there on Cloverdale Avenue. They're there with law enforcement to make sure that they're being reunited with their family members.
Okay. There are a few things that we want to clarify. That
Please.
this did not happen inside the school, correct?
It did not happen inside the school. Did not.
Okay. What can you tell parents tonight that may be very fearful, that had to pick up their children, are currently being reunited with their children right now?
What I would tell you is the same thing I told you earlier. Hug your children. Tell them you love them. Tell them what they mean to you. Tell your kids, whether it's your kids, your neighbor's kids, we got to put these guns down. This is no way to resolve disputes. This is no way to even live. And so what I would say is this, is that we have to be mindful that we have to address issues in our community. And so what we're going to do is, if it means putting SROs on the streets near the schools, that's what we would do, because we cannot continue down this path. And so what I would say to our children, what I would say to our parents is that we've got to get involved. This is all hands on deck. We've got to stop the shooting.
And Sheriff, you said that you actually went to the hospital where this student is currently. You spoke to the mom. Can you kind of walk us through how that conversation went?
Well, the mother showed up. Of course, she was upset. I know the family, and she wanted to get to her baby. And so I put her in the car with me and transported her to Atrium. Once I reunited her with her son, she was hysterical. I mean, as any mother would be. I mean, there's no way to describe that. You know, that's her son.
Yeah. And final thing for you, Sheriff. Obviously, we are thankful that this situation did not pan out a different way. I mean, we were just in a similar situation like this at Mount Tabor a few years ago. So can you talk to us about how thankful you are that despite this terrible incident, that it did not go a different way?
I'm very thankful. I give thanks to God on that one. I was on Church Street pulling up at the detention center when the Code Red came out. And of course my heart started racing. And so I got here as quick as I could. When I saw that he was talking, I felt good. I felt good that he was talking. And so I said a prayer, you know, because I don't never want to relive that again. I never want to go through that again. And so I'm very thankful, very thankful. But at the same time, I'm disappointed that we can't go to school, or a child can't go to school without being shot. We're better than that as a community. We're way better than that.
All right, Sheriff, is there anything else that you would like to tell the community before we send it back to?
What I would tell the community is that we're out here, we're going to be out here all night in the rain, looking until we find those that were involved. I would tell you is that there is no threat, immediate threat to this community in this area. We will be out here. There will be a heavy police, sheriff's office, highway patrol present in this area because, as I said, it's an active crime scene investigation. We are on the job, and I appreciate you all for being out here as well. And thank you.
All right, thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
That was an update with Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough speaking to our Kira Peters. And if you're just joining us tonight, we do want to update you. There was a shooting earlier this afternoon near the campus of Reynolds High School in Winston-Salem. We know that one student was involved in a fight with a group of juveniles, and that student was shot in the upper leg, if I do recall. That victim is now with his mother at Atrium Health. The sheriff was there with mom, actually took her to the hospital, and understandably so, that mom is upset tonight.
And this is Northwest Boulevard at Rinalda Road, which is by Haynes Park, so a busy area. So the sheriff is saying if you can find an alternate route. We don't have any information on any suspect or suspects at this time. We just know that the victim was a Reynolds High School student and did get shot in the leg and is recovering at the hospital. Sheriff Kimbrough says his injuries are serious, but he is stable. That
reunification process still ongoing tonight. Let's send things back out to our Kenny Beck. He is there at the Harris Teeter parking lot on Cloverdale Avenue in Winston-Salem. Kenny, you spoke to a parent earlier tonight. I'm pretty sure a lot of parents still feeling that same way.
There are. I think it's a sense of relief and also concern about what occurred so near to where their son or daughter goes. I'm joined now by Joe in Kingston. Joe's Kingston's father. Kingston's a member of the basketball team and a sophomore at R.J. Reynolds. Dad, I'll start with you. What are your emotions right now?
Well, first of all, just thankful that my son is okay, and not knowing a lot of information right now, things up in the air, so like to get things sorted out so we can see what's going on, but just happy that my son is safe and with me.
We're here at the reunification area. Perhaps viewers might be able to see all the buses that are behind us and the umbrellas and children being let off. What was that moment like for you when you saw your son walking down the steps of that bus?
Definitely a relief. I got a text from him that he was okay, but seeing him, makes it all better.
How hard is it to be a parent in this day and age in our country where texts like that do come through?
It's difficult. It's something we think about almost daily. We know the school system is trying to do their best, and I think it's more that can be done to kind of clear some of these type of things that's happening. But it's something that's always on our mind.
And Kingston, I don't want to forget about you. How close were you to what occurred today? How aware were you of what went on?
I wasn't close at all. I was in the basketball locker room getting ready for our game, and it was just a crazy feeling when I heard a couple of teammates come in and tell me about the situation. But yeah, that's all.
You're 16 years old. You're getting ready to play basketball, which I would have to imagine is something that, like my little boy, he's been into it since he was a little tiny kid. You're about to do what you love. Can you describe what that's like when a teammate comes in and says somebody's been shot?
It was just a crazy feeling. I don't even know what to even think for real. It was just a crazy feeling.
What do you think tonight's going to look like? What do you think tomorrow's going to look like? You going to go back to school, or is that to be determined?
That's to be determined, and I just hope that they can find the people that did this, and just hope this whole situation get cleared up.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, and sure, I'm glad you're okay, and I'm sorry about the basketball game. And Dad, anything else that you'd like to add about all this? How do you feel about the communication? You said you got the text from your son. How do you feel about the communication from law enforcement and from the school system as well, as we see some more joyful reunions, right? I mean, that's it right there, isn't it? That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like things can always improve, and hopefully the school system and the powers that be can get together and come up with better ideas on keeping our kids safe. The principal at Reynolds does a great job individually, but overall as a system, I think there's a lot we can do better.
Appreciate your time very much. We'll let you guys go be a family now, and we really are glad you're okay, and thank you for staying out with us here in the rain.
Appreciate you.
That's what's happening in Winston-Salem. We'll send it back inside to you tonight.
All right, Kenny, thank you. Kenny is with parents out there at Cloverdale Plaza right now, where they are reuniting with their students at Reynolds High School after an incident on school grounds, not inside the building, but on school grounds. Earlier today, we know one student was shot in the leg, and they are in the hospital right now with their mother recovering.
And that gunfire happened after an altercation involving a group of juveniles. That was earlier today near the campus of R.J. Reynolds High School. We do have our Kara Peters live tonight on Northwest Boulevard at Reynolda. Kara, this has been a very busy intersection since this all first started. Police encouraging parents to avoid this intersection. What are you seeing now?
Well, Devontae and Lindsay, I think the best way to describe this area is still very, very active. I mean, at one point I did describe it as a parking lot, but we are starting to see some traffic freely flow in this area. Again, that is not stopping a very heavy police presence here between the intersection of Northwest and Reynolda Road. I want to make sure that I am clear about that intersection of where I am standing. And we have heard, both you all have talked about it, we've heard it firsthand from Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough. He has said, if you can avoid this area, please try to do so. I mean, you have seen from our point of view the parking lot of school buses going down this area. We've seen it from Chris Peterson as well. So definitely wanting to make sure that those that still may need to drop off those kids to their parents have the ability to do so. Again, as we mentioned, the rain has still been coming down, so that is a added factor to this as well. Want to mention again just all of the things that Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough spoke about. He said that he did speak with the mother. He spoke with the student as well. He went to the hospital. Understandably so, he said that the mother was very hysterical, but thankful that she was able to see her son. He also mentioned, of course, that this brings back bad memories from the Mount Tabor situation. And although it is a silver lining that this student is doing all right, he is also still frustrated regarding what has been going on with schools. He mentioned both something with the press conference and our one-on-one interview, that even if it has to take more SROs coming into the school building, perhaps that is something that needs to be considered. So again, definitely a lot going on out here. We are seeing a steady flow of traffic. They are asking for people to be patient if you have to come out in this area. For those that may be unfamiliar with this area, again, it is a popular area. Despite the school being in this area, we have a lot of food options here, retail spaces, so it's normally very, very busy in this area. But again, if you can avoid it, please plan to do so. But again, we do want to have you all listen into some sound from Sheriff Kimbrough from our earlier conversations.
All right, Kara Peters live from the scene for us. Our Kenny Beck has been at Cloverdale Plaza all afternoon talking to parents who are there reuniting with their kids.
And Kenny, we heard that moment behind you, that mom, the children running together, hugging. I'm sure it's a big moment of relief for a lot of families tonight.
It was, and I just spoke with them a minute ago. They're actually all students, and some of them came here just to make sure that their friends were okay. Joined now by father and son from R.J. Reynolds High School. Literally just bumped into them not 30 seconds ago. Forgive me, I haven't had the chance to get your name. What's your name, sir?
Paul McDonald.
Paul McDonald, and what's your name?
Dylan McDonald.
Okay, Paul and Dylan. So I see the lacrosse stick here. I assume you were at school for some type of extracurricular related to lacrosse. Is that right?
Yeah, I was in the gym for lacrosse conditioning.
For conditioning, okay. How did you first find out that this was not a regular Tuesday afternoon?
One of the members of the lacrosse team texted the team's WhatsApp and said someone got shot in the gym. And I didn't really believe it at first, but then everyone started saying it. So I didn't really hear anything because I was in the basement, but yeah, and then the coach was like, stay down here. How
do you process that as a young man? What are you, 15, 16 years old?
I'm 15.
15 years old. How do you process that as a 15-year-old? One minute you're getting ready for a lacrosse practice, the next minute your coach says, stay in the basement, don't move, and somebody you might know has been shot.
It's scary, man. It's a scary world we live in. It's ridiculous that this kind of stuff happens to people, but yeah.
And you were just reunited with your son, what, a few minutes ago? He got off one of these buses, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, it's scary. You get a call from your kid that says there's been a school shooting. You assume it's another mass shooting. I mean, I don't know when we're going to stop doing this, right? I mean, Congress has got to step up here and make some changes. So,
what was it like when you saw him? What was the first thing you said to him?
It was great. I mean, geez, I gave him a big hug and just asked him if he was okay. So,
yeah. Are you okay?
No, I'm shook up, man.
Yeah.
I'm like all amped up. This is not something you want to have to deal with, and it's just an expectation now. It's ridiculous.
What does the rest of this evening and the rest of this week look like for your family, do you think? Or is it too early to say?
No idea right now. Everything's going through my mind. I mean, we're just trying to get home and trying to get back to normal. I mean, it's going to take a while probably, but that's the way it goes.
We'll let you guys be a family. I really appreciate you speaking with us, and I'm glad that you're all together, and I'm glad it's okay, and I'm sorry that sports practice got disrupted tonight, and I'm sorry that as a 15-year-old, this is unfortunately part of the deal right now.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's happening here in Winston-Salem. We'll send things back inside to you.
Kenny, thank you. So we're hearing from a lot of parents and students, concern, anxiety, shaken up, and it's understandably so, and understandably why these parents are feeling this way. A lot of them are just frustrated and tired of this.
Yeah, and it's a scary situation when you hear of a shooting by your child's school and you don't know who was involved or what's going on or what happened or how many people may have been shot and whatnot. At this time, we know there was an incident around 3:45, a shooting on the Reynolds High School campus grounds, not inside the building, but one of the students there was shot in the leg. And we don't know any information on a suspect, but it appears like there was some kind of altercation that led up to this shooting, and that victim is now in the hospital recovering from a serious leg injury.
The sheriff urging kids, teens, and the youth to put the guns down. This remains an active crime scene. You see that live picture on the screen with the line of school buses there near R.J. Reynolds High School. Those school buses are running back and forth, picking up students from the school and then bringing them to that reunification site. And if this all seems familiar to you, it might be. This is not the first shooting at a Winston-Salem Forsyth County school. We know back in 2021, there was a shooting at Mount Tabor High School September 1st. One student died after they were shot and killed there on campus.
And Maurice Evans Jr. was indicted by a grand jury relating to that for the murder of 15-year-old William Miller Jr.
Let's get back out live to tonight's scene. Again, a very much active situation. One person shot. We have the very latest right now at WXI12.com. We'll be right back.